You're listening to WICR, Iona College Radio.
Good Friday, Gales. I'm Rocky DePala, joined by Gregor Hope Murray, and we have some football to talk about. But before we get into football, let's just say congratulations to the New York Mets on clinching their 5th pennant in franchise history. New York is pulling for you, Mets. Let's go.
No, good on them. I'm glad to see a New York team back in the playoffs again. It's been a while since I believe the Yankees went last, and man,
Well, the Yankees made it this year.
they did make it this year, yeah. But yeah, I don't do baseball.
But they play the winner of the Blue Jays Royals, and the World Series Game 1 starts Tuesday. But before we get into Tuesday, we have a premier game on Sunday in football with the Jets and the Patriots, the number 1 defense going up against the number 1 offense. How do you think this game's going to play out?
Well, my inner Patriot fan is saying the Patriots are going to handle the Jets the same way they handled the Buffalo Bills. The real football fan in me is saying,
biased.
No. This is my Patriots fan. This is not the
so the
biasness
is out.
Yeah, no, that's out of the way. Putting that to the side, we've got, in terms of football, one of the best games you can hope for, which is what happens when a top offense meets a top defense. And we haven't seen one of these games yet, really, in this season.
Well, we saw it in Super Bowl 48 between the Broncos and Seahawks, but we all know what happened in that game.
Yeah, that was
and what side of what prevailed in the defense.
Yeah, no, that was an embarrassing game for them. But this season has been kind of one of those. It's been a very odd season where we've had some pretty okay offenses and no really spectacular defenses. There's not a lot of really good defenses out there, which is why it's very exciting to have a game like this where we finally have one of the best defenses in the NFL get tested against one of the best offenses. It's going to be a very close and interesting game, and I would not say that this game is going to be done by the third quarter, fourth quarter, because that's the way most Patriot games have gone this season, where it's been, come third quarter, end of third quarter, game's pretty much wrapped up, and they just sit back on their lead at the end of the third quarter and go into the fourth quarter. They run out the clock, and that's game. You're not going to see that this week. This week, I would imagine, only because it's a divisional rivalry, but because of the level that they're going to be playing at, they're not going to be able to take their foot off the gas until, the final 2 minutes of the game, tops. And that's if whichever team is winning is going to, pull it back.
As a Jet fan, I'm very happy, being 4-1 and all, but this is their true test of the season. You're going up against Tom Brady. We know the scrutiny that he went through this past year with the whole Deflategate shenanigans and all, but that doesn't mean anything at this point. This is going to be a true test for the defense, for the defensive line, the linebackers, and especially Darrelle Revis and company in the secondary.
Well, Darrelle Revis had plenty of practice last year against Tom Brady, having to actually practice with him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very fun and interesting game, and it's a good thing that the Jets at least get to take 2 shots at the Patriots compared to any other team. And I think that for them being at 4-1 right now, I think that's actually a very good thing for them. Because when you got a team that's rolling very well, as they are right now, you want to test yourselves constantly against the good teams. You want to see how you stack up early and late in the season. This is a perfect benchmarker where you say, okay, this is where we need to improve, or this is how good we are right now. And later in the season, when they meet again, they'll say, how far have we come along, or how far have we regressed? And it's going to be a really fun game where the Jets really get to test themselves this game, because I do not think they've had a good offense. Well, I shouldn't say they haven't had a good offense. They haven't had an opponent challenge them for a full 4 quarters, is what I would say.
I mean, the Redskins challenged them last week, but that was only in the first half, and then the game was lopsided throughout the second half. So,
yeah. With the Patriots, they're not going to, only give you one good half. They're going to give you at least 3 quarters if they're having a bad week. But most of the time, it should be 4 quarters from them, which means you're going to see, a full game's worth of top-level play, which is what I'm really excited about. Like, I honestly, as a Pats fan, while I don't want to lose to the Jets, I would be pretty okay if it's a close game and we do somehow lose.
Plus, this game could have implications for the division. This could be a separation of who wins the division and who is a wild card team and has to go on the road, as opposed to who has at least one playoff game or maybe even a bye.
That's very true. This season for the AFC East, it's looking like it's going to be a very, very soft schedule, and each of the teams so far seems to be feeding off of that soft schedule. Not so much with Miami, but
We can count Miami out 'cause they're in complete disarray.
yeah, they've got the whole other bunch of problems. But it's a weak schedule, and you're right. This does have a very high implication towards the divisional standings and who may end up going in as a wild card and who goes in as the division winner, because the teams that they both have to face are relatively weak, so there should be some easy free wins in there. Not to mention that the Jets, since they didn't win the division last year, don't have as hard a schedule as the Patriots do. The Patriots still have to go against the undefeated Broncos. They've already taken on the Steelers, which the Jets didn't have to do. But it's a good chance that, they get an additional favor if they do pull the win on this one, that maybe the Broncos deal them another favor and the Broncos pull a win, because
Right.
I believe the Patriots are playing at the Broncos this year.
Yeah, it's in Denver.
Yeah. So there's a good chance that if the Jets can at least take one of these two games away from the Patriots, they could be walking away with the division if they can keep up what they're doing.
Plus, you got to think, and historically, the Jets have had success against Brady by blitzing and pass rushing him, and that's what the Jets have in Sheldon Richardson, Muhammad Wilkerson, Leonard Williams. They have a fearsome pass rush that can get to the quarterback. And besides, if you look at it this way, if you double team one guy, that means the other guy or the other two guys could get wide open or can beat man-to-man coverage on the line.
No, it's going to be a very tough game for the Pats, at least offensively.
Their offensive line's going to have their hands full.
Oh
this
man,
week.
they have 3 rookies starting on that offensive line. Not to mention their starting tackle is down, their backup tackle is down. So it's going to be a rough game where Brady not only has to make a quick read, but he also has to make sure that he does the correct quick read, because you've got people in that backfield that can easily take that ball and return it back to the house with Darrelle Revis and Cromartie. So offensively, that's a scary game for Brady. He's got to make sure that he limits his turnovers if he wants to win. But I do look at the Jets offensively and say they've got their hands cut out for them too with the Patriots front seven. The Patriots front seven has been getting there this year. They've been getting multiple sacks, and they've got a hell of a linebacker crew with
David Harris,
Dante Hightower, and
sorry, I thought you were talking about
no.
the Jets.
Sorry, I'm talking Jets versus the Patriots
Right.
Offensively. And the Patriots have Hightower, who's been playing at a high level, and Jamie Collins, who I don't know if you caught him last week against the Colts, but he was ball hawking. He was everywhere. He had a blocked field goal. He was doing everything imaginable. And I would love to see how the Jets are going to be able to get the ball moving. I know they're going to be turning to their man, Chris Ivories, who is having an incredible season.
That's another offensive weapon that the Patriots defense has to stop.
That one is
along
where,
with Marshall and Decker.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm most worried is the running game. The Pats defense is a little weak against the run, but if they do focus on stopping it, it should be contained, especially if the Pats do somehow get a lead. If they get a lead and put the ball into Fitzpatrick's hands, I would be much more confident in the Patriots winning than if, the game is close and they can continuously go to Ivory.
But one thing I want to see this weekend is, let's say the Jets are trailing late in the game, like say 10 points or
10
double-digit points.
Okay.
Can Ryan Fitzpatrick lead the Jets to a comeback win or just make the game even close?
Honestly, I don't think he can. I don't think he can against this team. Maybe against another team, but
A bad team, per se.
Well, yes, a team that isn't as well disciplined. Belichick is all about making sure discipline and knowing the situation and understanding what position they are in. And generally, the Patriots' defense has been good at making sure that when they have to be disciplined, they are. But there is a chance that stuff can go wrong. But I don't know if Fitzpatrick is the quarterback to take advantage of them.
See, now, granted, I understand, Ryan Fitzpatrick has his critics. He's a journeyman quarterback. I believe this is his 6th team. The Jets are his 6th team.
He's been around the
But
U.S.
you know
yeah.
what? I remember Todd Bowles said before the draft. Somebody asked him. I said, "Are you guys going to draft a quarterback?" And he said, "You don't have to win a super. You don't have to have a franchise quarterback to win a Super Bowl." And I firmly believe that he's doing a good job, Fitzpatrick, and he can get the job done.
No, I 100% agree with Bull's statement there. You do not need a top end quarterback. It most certainly helps though. But I don't think I since his time in Buffalo, I do not think Fitzpatrick is the guy that can take a team to the promised land. He may do well enough to get a team into playoffs, but come playoff time, I do not think he can be safely, the one that the team puts their hands,
Yeah.
puts their hand in on.
Just remember, Brad Johnson. He was the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the Super Bowl. Brad Johnson.
Who?
Brad Johnson. So just keep that name in mind.
There's quite a few quarterbacks that, disappeared into the eternities when they won the Super Bowl. You don't know
Right.
who they are, but they've done it.
So, what's your prediction for the game? Who's winning? And give a
Okay.
score if you can.
I'm going to say the Patriots winning just because they're at home and they do have the better record so far, so I will give them that. If I went with a score, I would say, funny enough, I would say that the score would be hitting the 20s for both teams. I would say it's probably going to be 21-24. I don't see it being any more than a 3-point game.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Jets are going to prevail. Because I'm not saying this because I'm a Jet fan, but I just firmly believe that this is the Jets' time. Plus, also, don't forget, Julian Edelman got hurt last week against the Colts. I think he broke or dislocated his finger.
Yep.
And he couldn't catch the ball firmly, or couldn't catch one of the passes firmly from Brady. That turned into a pick six. But I think the Jets are going to win. I think they're going to get to Brady. Darrelle Revis and Cromartie are going to shut down Gronk, and they're going to shut down Edelman as well, banged up Edelman.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to give a prediction, I would have to say 24-17 Jets win.
No, you're going with a full touchdown ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a close game.
I disagree with that, but then again, you've placed Revis and Cromartie on Gronk. Not really the two people I'd place on Gronk.
Listen, I mean, granted, I understand Gronk is a big guy and he's hard to cover, but Revis is one of the best in the game. So if he can shut down Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, any prolific star wide receiver, he can shut down Gronk.
Oh, I'm sure he can deny Gronk a few catches, but Gronk is a very physical receiver, which is what makes him different than everything else. You've got to make sure you've got a big-bodied guy that can take a slight push from him. Otherwise, you'll end up on the floor. I saw at least one or two Colts defenders on the floor trying to block Gronk.
That's the Colts defense. This is the Jets defense. That's a
Fair
big
enough.
difference.
That's a world of difference.
Big difference there, my friend.
That's very true.
But should be an interesting game. Should be a fun game. I'm going to be lock and loaded to it. And,
I can't wait to watch it.
Hopefully the Jets pulls out the W.
Well, hopefully not in Foxborough. They can do it at their own home.
No, they will do it at Foxborough. Mark my words.
Okay, then.
Hopefully. All right, I'm Rocky DePala. He's Gregor Hope Murray. Have a great day, gals.